Ever wished you could send your cells to boot camp, training them to fend off those nasty cancer villains with every bite you take? What if I told you there's a way to foodify your defense system? In today's super exciting video, we're dishing out the ultimate list of 13 cancer-fighting superfoods you should be eating, backed by science. Hold on to your taste buds, because this isn't just about eating healthy. It's about making every bite count in the battle against cancer. Let's dive in. Number 1, broccoli. This isn't just your average green veggie. Meet broccoli, the silent superhero of our diets. Now, what if I told you that beneath its humble green curls lies a secret weapon, sulforaphane, which is believed to pack a powerful punch against cancer? Yes, you heard it right. This mighty plant compound, abundantly found in cruciferous vegetables like broccoli, has shown some promising anti-cancer potential in laboratory studies. Imagine, in one particular test tube study, sulforaphane caused quite a stir by reducing the size and number of breast cancer cells by a whopping 75%. That's like 3/4 of the villainous cells, poof, gone. And it's not just confined to the test tube. Our superhero has also flexed its muscles in the animal kingdom. When mice with prostate cancer were treated with sulforaphane, it decimated the cancer cells and shrunk the tumor volume by over 50%. Can you believe that? So, planning to add broccoli to your meals a few times a week sounds like a deliciously smart move for your health. Number 2, beans. Let's delve into some bean science. Beans are jam-packed with fiber, and various studies suggest that high fiber intake could be a knight in shining armor, protecting against colorectal cancer. Now get this. In a study that tracked 1,905 individuals with a history of colorectal tumors, it was found that those who cranked up their consumption of cooked dried beans were less likely to have a repeat performance of their tumors. Talk about a bean boon, but that's not all. In another animal study, feeding rats either black beans or navy beans and then inducing colon cancer managed to block the development of cancer cells by a remarkable 75%. Yes, you heard it right, 75%. So if you're a bean fan, good news. Indulging in a few servings of beans each week might ramp up your fiber intake and lower your risk of developing cancer. Number 3, carrots. Believe it or not, several studies have linked munching on more carrots with a decreased risk of certain types of cancer. Imagine this. An analysis of 5 different studies concluded that feasting on carrots might cut the risk of stomach cancer by an impressive 26%. That's over a quarter. What's more, another study showed that those who included more carrots in their diet had 18% lower odds of developing prostate cancer. Now that's a crunchy revelation, isn't it? So why not incorporate more of these orange wonders into your diet? They make for a great snack or a delicious side dish. A few carrot-infused meals a week could potentially steer you clear of some cancer risks. Number 4, berries. Bursting with anthocyanins, these plant pigments are not just responsible for the vibrant hues of berries, but they also come with antioxidant properties and may even have a role to play in reducing the risk of cancer. Intriguing, isn't it? In a study with 25 participants who had colorectal cancer, they were given bilberry extract for 7 days. The result? A reduction in the growth of cancer cells by 7%. Even the berries are giving it their 7%. So a bowl of berries a day might not just keep the doctor away, but might also keep those cancer cells at bay. Including a serving or 2 of these antioxidant-rich fruits in your diet could potentially inhibit the development of cancer. Number 5, cinnamon. Cinnamon is celebrated for its ability to lower blood sugar levels and soothe inflammation, but recent research has started to unroll another exciting layer to cinnamon's story. Test tube and animal studies have given us some intriguing insights. One such study found that cinnamon extract played the role of a bouncer, limiting the spread of cancer cells and even inducing their death. And it's not just the extract. Cinnamon essential oil showed some formidable powers too. Another test tube study found that this fragrant oil suppressed the growth of head and neck cancer cells and notably reduced tumor size. So it seems like sprinkling half to 1 teaspoon of cinnamon in your daily diet may not only add a burst of flavor, but also usher in some potential cancer-preventing benefits. And let's not forget about the bonus effects like reduced blood sugar and decreased inflammation. Number 6. Nuts. Research suggests that being nutty for nuts may be linked with a lower risk of certain types of cancer. Can you believe it? Check this out. In a study examining the diets of 19,386 individuals, it turned out that those who were nuts about nuts and ate more of them had a decreased risk of dying from cancer. How nutty is that? In another long-term study that followed 30,708 participants for up to 30 years, the nut crunchers amongst them saw a reduced risk of colorectal, pancreatic, and even endometrial cancers. These findings suggest that cracking open a serving of nuts in your daily diet could be a simple step in reducing your risk of developing cancer in the future. Number 7. Tomatoes. Lycopene is a compound found in tomatoes that's responsible for their charming red color. But more than just aesthetics, it also carries potential anti-cancer properties. And guess what? The fight seems particularly strong against one specific villain, prostate cancer. Diving into the world of research, several studies have found that an increased intake of lycopene in tomatoes could lower the risk of prostate cancer. A comprehensive review of 17 studies took it even further, finding that higher intake of raw tomatoes, cooked tomatoes, and lycopene itself were all associated with a decreased risk of prostate cancer. One specific study, including over 47,000 participants, zeroed in on tomato sauce and found a fascinating correlation. It found that a higher intake of tomato sauce was linked with a lower risk of developing prostate cancer. Now that's a saucy bit of information. So, how about making tomatoes a daily staple? Adding a serving or two of tomatoes to your sandwiches, salads, sauces, or pasta dishes could potentially contribute to prostate health. Number 8. Citrus fruits. When life gives you lemons, it might be doing you a favor in the fight against cancer. The same goes for limes, grapefruits, and oranges. Yes, citrus fruits have made quite a name for themselves in some studies for their potential to lower cancer risk. Let's squeeze out some knowledge here. In one extensive study, participants who consumed more citrus fruits were found to have a lower risk of developing cancers of the digestive and upper respiratory tracts. Now that's quite a zesty outcome, isn't it? Diving further into the world of citrus, a review examining 9 studies found that those with a higher citrus intake had a reduced risk of pancreatic cancer. You've got to love these tart little health protectors. So here's a fruitful thought. Including a few servings of citrus fruits in your diet each week could potentially lower your risk of developing certain types of cancer. Number 9. Turmeric, the golden gem of the spice rack. It's not just a pretty color. This spice is packed full of health-promoting properties. Meet curcumin, the active ingredient in turmeric, a mighty warrior with anti-inflammatory, antioxidant, and you guessed it, even anti-cancer effects. One fascinating study observed the impact of curcumin on 44 patients with precancerous lesions in the colon. After just 30 days of taking 4 grams of curcumin daily, the number of lesions dropped by 40%. Now that's some serious spice power. Our wonder compound curcumin has also been shown to decrease the spread of colon cancer cells in test tube studies. It does this by targeting a specific enzyme related to cancer growth. So how much of this magic dust should you incorporate into your diet? Aiming for at least 1/2 to 3 teaspoons of ground turmeric per day could be a good starting point. Sprinkle it over your food for an extra kick. And here's a pro tip. Pair it with black pepper to boost its absorption. Number 10. Flaxseed. There's some exciting research that suggests flaxseed may not only help slow down cancer growth, but could also kickstart the death of cancer cells. Take this one study, for example. 32 women with breast cancer were either given a flaxseed muffin daily or a placebo over the course of a month. Sounds like a nice breakfast, right? Well, the findings were even more appetizing. By the end of the study, those flaxseed muffin eaters had decreased levels of certain markers that measure tumor growth. Not just that, they also saw an increase in cancer cell death. And flaxseed didn't stop there. In another study involving 161 men with prostate cancer, the treatment with flaxseed appeared to slow down the growth and spread of cancer cells. If you're thinking of inviting flaxseed to the party, try adding 1 tablespoon of ground flaxseed into your diet each day. Whip it into smoothies. Sprinkle it over cereal or yogurt, or sneak it into your favorite baked goods. Not only will you be adding a nutty flavor and crunchy texture, but you may also be doing your body a favor. Number 11, olive oil. Several studies have started to illuminate a connection between a higher intake of olive oil and a lower risk of certain types of cancer. Fascinating, isn't it? Allow me to pour some knowledge here. A substantial review comprised of 19 studies found something intriguing. It showed that those who consumed the greatest amount of olive oil had a lower risk of developing breast cancer and cancers of the digestive system than those who consumed less. That's quite a golden finding, isn't it? So, how about swapping other oils in your diet for olive oil? You can drizzle it over salads and cooked veggies, or try using it in your marinades for meat, fish, or poultry. A small change, but it might just give you a health upgrade. Number 12, garlic. Garlic owes its potential cancer-fighting properties to a compound named allicin. This remarkable component has demonstrated its strength by taking down cancer cells in several test tube studies. But let's step out of the lab and take a look at larger populations. Multiple studies have found that people who consume garlic regularly seem to have a lower risk of certain types of cancer. In another study, garlic emerged as a potential ally in men's health too. With 471 men participating, the study showed that a higher intake of garlic was associated with a reduced risk of prostate cancer. These studies suggest that including just 2 to 5 grams of fresh garlic, roughly 1 clove, into your daily diet could potentially help harness its health-promoting properties. Number 13, fatty fish. It's not just a tantalizing centerpiece to a Mediterranean diet or an excuse to enjoy sushi on a Friday night. It could also be your ally in the fight against cancer. Numerous research points to a tantalizing possibility that consuming a few servings of fish in your diet each week could potentially decrease your risk of cancer. A large-scale study found that a higher intake of fish was associated with a lower risk of digestive tract cancer. Let's look closer at what makes fish, especially fatty ones like salmon, mackerel, and anchovies, so potentially beneficial. These underwater delicacies are rich in essential nutrients such as vitamin D and omega-3 fatty acids. If you're aiming to capitalize on these potential health benefits, aim for 2 servings of fatty fish per week. That way, you'll get a generous dose of both omega-3 fatty acids and vitamin D. Now it's your turn. Do you have a favorite recipe featuring one of these superfoods? Perhaps a family secret for the perfect garlicky pasta? Or a fresh citrus summer salad? Let's make this comment section a feast of ideas. Before you go, if you found this video helpful, don't forget to tap that like button. It's free and it helps us create more content that you love. But before I let you go off to your kitchens or grocery stores, remember to subscribe and ring that bell icon so you don't miss out on our future food adventures and health tips. See you in the next video.